Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales. In this installment we're looking at In the Fires of Spring. So this is the second story of the 50 Situation Line. I'll probably go brief with this one, but it's a very interesting story actually. So it's more of a sort of thriller type style, like a horror thriller-esque type style really. The story goes is, this town is facing a bit of a crisis at the minute, largely because there's a few kidnappings. Of course, a lot of teenage girls sort of go missing from this town, and the parents, neighbours and friends and family, of course, are worried, of course. And in doing so, they send some private investigators. Well, each of them for different means, of course. One is just trying to get a promotion. One is trying to get back with his wife. One's planning to go on the benefit scheme, if you know what I mean, just to, rather than work, he decides, I'll try and just earn benefits or something while finish up this job. In doing so, something like that, actually, because some of them kind of a bit, have their own ways, they will, so that happens. So they all meet up at this sanitarium just outside the town, where it's been promoted as like this new health thing, of course, like something involving just like for detoxes and everything else. Sort of similar thing what Harvey Kellogg was doing, actually, if you look at the Road to Wellville type of stuff, really. Instead, it's not a crazy silver man who invented the cornflake. It's actually just a woman who is basically, in a way, just just very, what's the word? I'm trying to think. Very sort of opposite to men, really. Like, she despises men, and but in doing so, she willingly takes them to investigate and tell them a few questions, and then afterwards they stay the night. They do offers. Well, they sort of offer them, accommodation, of course, but also they've actually sabotaged the cars as well when their transport when they arrive. So some of them have the tyres slashed and everything else, so they can't be able to make it back to the town, and maybe just finish the case in the offices, wherever, really. So they have to stay, and during the stay, of course, they encounter the teenage girls that were supposed to be, who have been missing, are there, sort of like brainwashed students, of course. So it's like it turns out it's like it ended up being like a boarding school for brainwashed women, interestingly, and in doing so, they end up staying the night as well. Yeah, I mentioned that before, and obviously, and they get picked up one by one by the girls. Apparently, the main reason why these girls are acting very strange and actually killing off the men, the private investigators, is because the woman, the head matriarch, is conducting experiments. She is brainwashing, or using a thing to brainwash women to kill men, of course. Largely because in a backstory, she ended up in abusive relationships, and it's basically like a traumatized rape victim, just being like, just heading this cult type thing, of course, brainwashing young girls and making them kill men. Very much, it's like, you can tell it's like heavily influenced by other stuff, really. It has that sort of I spit on your grave type thing, of course, when a woman gets viciously attacked, and of course she goes on a killing spree against the attackers, very much. So, but it also borrows some elements to a few other things. Example, Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort, is quite relevant because it's in a sanitarium, very much like a hotel-less sanitarium outside town, of course. And one by one they get picked off like it's a slasher or something, like, slasher involving axes and stuff, knives, strangulation, of course. Even one by death by sex as well. Yeah, that's what tends to happen in this one. So yeah, the name of itself, In the Fires of Spring, comes from a Chris Rea song from 1978, because I remember seeing it on a compilation of the Old Grey Whistle Test, of course. I think it's called Fires of Spring, or The Fires of Spring, whatever. So I just chose In the Fires of Spring, really, to be honest, as an interesting title, really. I find it quite striking to do, so I thought I might use that, actually. And yeah, pretty much what it really says on the tin, really. So, In the Fires of Spring, pretty dangerous, sort of, horror thriller. 6 guys getting hunted by brainwashed women. All because this one woman had been traumatized her life by abusive relationships, attackers, rape, and everything else. So it's like that. You see her and you uncover her. I think towards the end, you see her scars very much. Like she's gone down below. Like you can't really see, like you see a beautiful face, of course, but underneath you see down her scars very much. Like she's like been attacked multiple times by from just being unlucky, really, to be honest. And that's all came to her. And that's it, really, guys. Writer's Tales in the Fires of Spring. Thank you guys for watching. As always, see you in the next video, and goodbye.